Welcome to this edition of 2-Minute Tuesday. In this edition, I'm going to take on some questions that I've received about school closings and delays. So let's dive right into the questions. First question I received was, are there specific policies that determine if we delay or cancel for school? We don't have any specific policies that we follow other than ensuring the safety of students getting to and from school. So there is nothing that says that with 2 inches of snow or 6 inches of snow, or if the temperatures get so cold, or any of those kind of things. What we try to do is use our best judgment, some common sense, and make the best decision we can on whether we should have school or not. Another question comes up, do you have specific times when you must have a decision made? There isn't just an absolute hard time, but we try to make a decision before 5:30 a.m. on the day of school. Sometimes things come up the night before, and if conditions just look really bad, we'll make a decision the night before. But I honestly don't like making the decision the night before, because you never know what's going to change during the middle of the night. So the next question I have is, do you consider the student drivers at the high school when you make a decision? To a degree, yes, I consider the student drivers, but ultimately the thing I'm most concerned about is whether the buses can safely get to and from school. So I would encourage parents of sophomores, juniors, and seniors that have their driver's license to do a couple of things. One thing that I would encourage you to do is the first day that we have some bad weather, that it's icy, I encourage the parent to go out and drive the roads and let your son or daughter get experience out on the icy road, because I always hear, well, they don't have any experience. Well, the only way they're going to get that experience is by going out and driving the road. So I encourage parents to go to a parking lot, to drive on the roads and teach their kids how to safely drive on ice and snow. It's something they're going to use the rest of their life, so use that. I also encourage parents that if you believe that it's too dangerous for them to be out, and if we are having school, the school bus still comes around. I know they don't like that as an option, but that's another way of handling it. Next question I have, what is the process you use and who makes the final decision on going to school? The general process is that if it's something that comes up in the morning that we don't anticipate, usually that would be fog, I will get a phone call from Vanessa Field. She's our Director of Transportation, and that kind of starts our talking process. We'll have people, we have Vanessa, myself, others in the school district. We have some spotters around the county that will go out and drive the roads and see what the conditions are. If it's foggy, how far can you see in the fog? If it's ice, snow, how slick are the roads? How deep is the snow? There's no way that one person can cover the entire county, so that's why we use multiple people and multiple spotters. Vanessa also will talk to the transportation directors of surrounding school districts. I talk to the superintendents of surrounding school districts. Ultimately, after we've talked, usually probably from 3:30 or 4 in the morning until 5:30, then the one that makes the final decision is the superintendent. So I ultimately have that, but it's usually, I can't think of a time when Vanessa and I haven't agreed ultimately on the final decision. So there's a lot of thought process goes in it. We're not just looking at the television or listening to the weatherman. We're actually out on the roads to see what the real road conditions are. The other thing to remember in Huntington County is the conditions can vary greatly from one end of the county to the other. I remember one snowfall we got a year or two ago that down around the Salamone area, down around Mount Etna, there was about 4 inches of snow on the ground, and in Roanoke there was 8 inches of snow on the ground. So we're looking at conditions across the county, not in just one area of the county. What are the most difficult decisions you make, and what are the easiest decisions to make? Easy decision is all of a sudden we get a foot of snow and the roads are impassable and we have a snow emergency. That's real easy to cancel school. I think the most difficult decisions to make are the ones that are on that borderline. Is it a little too slick? Does it mean people can't drive the speed limit? in some cases that even though you can't drive the speed limit, I still think it's safe to go to school if people take normal precautions, slow down a little bit, give themselves more time to stop, take your time speeding up, accelerating, and all of those kind of things. The other times that it's difficult is when they're predicting something that's going to happen. If they're predicting an ice storm or if they're predicting snow and it's 4 o'clock in the morning and we have clear roads. So do we go to school or do we not go to school? That's one of those tough decisions to make. We've gotten more and more of these questions is, will we ever use e-learning days for makeup of school like surrounding school districts? This is a decision we've already made very consciously. That is that at spring break we have 2 weeks for spring break. The first week, the first 5 days, are reserved for snow makeup days. We believe that the teacher in front of the students is the most effective way for us to teach students. So we're going to use up to 5 days and make those up at spring break. If we go beyond that, if we have a really bad winter, which we haven't had for the last few years, but if we have a really bad winter that we miss more than 5 days, then we would begin using e-learning days to make that up so that we don't have to extend the school year beyond our already scheduled end of school, as well as we wouldn't have to move graduation. So first 5 days will be used at spring break, then we'll go beyond that. Finally, kind of closing comments and thoughts on all of this. I know we're coming up into the snowy time. We're coming up into winter where these things are more likely to happen. I just want everyone to know that we do try to make the best decision. Sometimes we don't get it exactly right. It's probably like the basketball official on whether it's a foul or not. Some agree and some disagree. But I just want you to know that we do have a lot of people out on the roads to try to get the best reading and make the best decision we can. So that's kind of the process we go through. That's what we think about. And hopefully we can avoid the bad weather, but you never know. So regardless of the weather, I just ask all of you to go and have a great Viking day.